Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Chris, and welcome back to the Big Brother podcast with my good friend, Gocubs 711.
So when you work at a golf course, you see a lot of interesting things.
Oh, God.
But never did I think that I was going to see what I saw earlier this week.
I'm so nervous.
One Piece golf cozies. And I'm not talking about the cozies where only one piece, because all of them are. But I'm talking One Piece the anime. Like golf club cozies.
What the... Wait. One Piece. I've actually never heard of that.
If I showed you the main character, you might be like, oh, I kind of recognize that.
Yeah. Go look up One Piece. If you don't know. That is very unique.
Fucking anime, what the hell?
Yeah. It's very odd to see a combination of anime and golf, except when you're playing like hotshot golf or something. But yeah, they
I had two cards that night that smelled like weed. So.
Oh, great. Well, nothing like a really relaxing golf experience. But anyways, welcome back everyone to the Big Brother podcast. We are through the first two episodes in this very long summer, and we liked the first two episodes. I'd say pretty good.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely not. We didn't really get to experience the Big Brother game in its full potential yet, but it's okay because they just threw a lot of competitions at us. So let's go through. Let's recap everything that has happened thus far.
Let's do it.
The 12 house guests entered the house, and they all got to greet each other. It seems like there's either already some sparks flying, and there's already people that got irritated by one another. And so everyone's meeting each other for the first time, and of course, nothing says Big Brother like Julie Chen coming on the screen and ruining it for everyone. As the first twist drops, and she says that there are 4 stowaways that will be joining the house guests this season. No, it's not going to be 4 Rob Gronkowskis as Gocubs hopes.
Damn it. Damn it.
It's going to be 4 returning house guests from past seasons. Now, to this point, we kind of knew who it could be, but there was a part of me that was like, maybe if because of the theme of the house, they could throw us for a loop and do international house guests, but that would be kind of copying what Big Brother Canada just did this past season. So I was pretty sure whoever they said was the returnees was going to be the returnees, and we were right. All of a sudden, popping out of the suitcase was Nicole Frazel from Big Brother 16, as she joins the house guests, and she just is like, I'm here to have another shot. Hayden and her broke up, but she's not going to be looking for love this time. She doesn't want a guy to distract her. She wants to play the game. And so she goes into another room, and Paul immediately starts in. We gotta get the vets out. And there is a full train ahead towards getting the vets out. The line automatically gets drawn, so it doesn't matter who else gets brought in. It's going to be veterans versus rookies right out of the gate, thanks to Paul and Jose and whoever else gets involved in the whole going after the veterans. All of a sudden, out of the suitcase comes good old James Hooling from last season. Say again?
Love you, James.
Yeah, he was my favorite to see come back. He's a prankster. He's great feeds. But he's also a pretty good guy, so I'm glad to see him back, and I could definitely see that he's gonna be fun this summer. So he got back, and then all of a sudden, popping out of the suitcase is Devon from last season. So Devon was out after 2 weeks, but now will hopefully break that record well, this time around. And she's coming in. She's gonna try to stay a little bit more quiet compared to the rest of compared to like last season rather. So hopefully we'll see that Devon can pull that through. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, out of the suitcase comes Frank Yulee from Big Brother 14. And Frank is all of a sudden his fro is gone. He's kind of has this short hair now, and he is so set on not winning competitions, unlike his first season where he won a ton of competitions. So I could see him maybe taking some elements from Dan Giesling, from who played with him that season. Maybe to not win as many competitions, to see him as a threat and focus on social game. So again, we'll see. But right now, it looks like the veterans are gonna have to tie to each other because the rookies are out to destroy, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's the first twist. Then Satan comes back on the TV screen. I mean, Julie Chen comes back on the TV screen. I love
just because she was wearing a red dress.
Yes. No, I love Julie Chen.
Oh, I love Julie.
Yeah, but she's basically Satan for the Big Brother house. Because she just completely just comes in and just announce all these things in a very sweet fashion, but it's like, oh god, what now? So twist number 2 comes out, and we are going to see something very similar to BB11 and BB14. Everyone is going to be put into teams of 4. So, we go outside, and the 4 veterans get to pick first. The 4 veterans will each be on their own team.
Yes.
So they will each get to pick their own teams, and the teams end up being, hopefully I can remember from memory, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, Michelle, this is one team, Frank, Michelle, Holly, and Bridget.
Yes.
They are they're category 4, I believe.
4, because it's a hurricane terminology, and there's 4 of them.
Yeah, there you go. Probably the best name of what we're going to be talking about here.
Probably.
Then we got Devon, Paul, Jose, and Zakia on a team, and they're known as Big Sister. Clever, yeah.
Sure.
Oh god, sorry about that.
That's my reaction towards our teammate.
Then we have Team James, who has Bronte, Natalie, and Victor, and they're known as
Team Unicorn.
Like, I really liked Cavalry. I'm almost certain Natalie was the one that was just like, let's just do Team Unicorn. That's better.
What the fuck is a cavalry? Jesus.
That
would have been such a badass name.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what they were thinking, but it has to be Cavalier with pink and glitter. Oh my god. I can't.
I mean, at least they got the horse part out of it. It could be a cavalry with unicorns.
Right. You know, they got. Hey, you know what? Who knows? These unicorns could be badass, and they could be like stabbing people with their horse.
I'm not saying the unicorns aren't badass.
It's just really odd, if anything. It's to a different level. And then the final team, we have Nicole, Glenn, Corey, and Tiffany. And they are known... Oh, God, I'm not going to think
of... It's the Freakazoids.
Freakazoids, that's it.
What the fuck?
Why? Because
that name.
Because they're freaks. I don't know. I don't know.
You've got white bread on your team.
Say again?
You've got white bread on your team. How are you Freakazoid?
I still love that nickname for Corey. Alright, so yeah, here's the 4 teams, and now they all get to participate in a competition. This is not a normal competition. It's kind of, I would say it's kind of like a luxury comp, but with consequences.
Yes.
And the competition is called Ride the Rocket. And Gocubs, if you could explain what exactly is happening during this competition.
All right, so basically, you got to spread your legs and fit them all like around this large cylindrical object that just happens to be a rocket. And it's the thing about it is that it's very slippery and hard to hold on to. And it'll start like moving back and forth, but you gotta stay on because if you fall off, you're out.
Right.
And whichever team lasts the longest, scratch that. Whichever single person lasts the longest on their rocket wins it for their team. So it's an individual competition, kind of, but you're playing it for your team.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the order in which you fall, the last person on your team falls out, determines what you win as a result. So if you're the first one out, well, win used loosely.
Yeah.
If you're the first one out, your team is have-nots for the week. Mm-hmm. If you're the second one out, you get a mystery surprise, which I don't know about yet, but I think Chris does.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll probably find out on Sunday.
Yeah.
If you're the third one's out, so you're second place, you get $10,000 spread among you, so $2,500 each. Pretty cool. And then if you're first place, you get fucking immunity for 2 evictions.
Right. So, and then it's worth noting that whoever that between this 2-night premiere, one person is going home.
Yep.
So they have this past Thursday was an eviction, and then next week will be an eviction, and then that'll be over with. So to me, I kind of still consider it a 1-week immunity, but I could see why it's immunity through 2 evictions
right.
Instead of just the one. So yeah, I really liked the idea of this challenge because it wasn't the head of house right out of the gate. Instead, you kind of just see how the teams work together and go from there. So, unfortunately, Devon's team, Big Sister, fell early on, and they were done and over with. They're going to be have-nots for the week. And then people started falling from each team, and it came down to Corey, Victor, and Paulie for their respective teams battling it out on their rockets. And I think Paulie was the next one to fall, which means that Team Frank, Category 4, will have to deal with a punishment. Any prediction what that punishment will be?
Some dumb costume.
Okay, fair enough. And then we have Victor and Corey going after each other. And then Corey, who Victor thought he was not going to be able to beat Corey. Corey ends up falling. So Corey, Nicole, Glenn, and Tiffany won $10,000, and they just split it between them. And then Victor, Bronte, Natalie, and James, they all won immunity for the first 2 evictions. So that was a big deal for sure. So that was that was the first competition. And now we have to find out what the other teams are going to have to deal with. So they all go back inside, and they're all hanging out for a second, and all of a sudden, oh, by the way, it's worth noting too, when the Team Twist came out, Paulie came out right away and said, okay, look, I'm Cody's brother. What did you think about that?
Well, one, it's really fucking obvious that you're Cody's brother. You are a blonde Cody.
Yes, right.
He looked like I look at him and I just like, oh, it's Cody. It's not Cody. It's Paulie.
Right.
But like, I don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily. This is gonna sound dumb. Necessarily necessary to.
Right.
I could just fucking say necessary. I'm so dumb. There's no need for that. It was unnecessary.
Right.
As you will. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think it was the dumbest thing to say. I don't, obviously Cody did go far, but like if you're gonna try to say like, nah, I'm not Cody's brother, and look and sound exactly like Cody,
Right.
Like,
It, it'd be tough.
yeah. So like, yeah, at least he came out with it when he did. Maybe not like the first night that people know you,
Well,
but
I
also
think it was
maybe
all on
not
the first night.
what.
It was all the day one, I believe.
Well, yeah, but like maybe not that early,
Yeah.
but also maybe not as late as Frankie waited before he said, "I'm Ariana Grande's sister."
Yeah.
Brother, fuck.
And then everyone's just kind of like, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then for now, Tiffany decided to keep her mouth shut. But then after the first,
Okay.
go ahead.
Can I point out
Yeah.
why did they choose to bring back siblings who look and sound exactly like they're the ones that have already played the game?
To add drama. It's I just accept that anything they do is just to add spice and drama. Well, because I think that that they are going to be like, oh yeah, you can come on the show, you can try to hide who your sibling is, and then they will be naive to be like, yeah, I totally will be, and then they kind of realize themselves like, oh shit, I'm a splitting image,
Yeah.
or spitting image, whatever it is the expression is. But yeah, I think that's really what it is. I think it just adds to like the drama, especially with bringing back past house guests who will be looking at you like, really. And that's what Devon did. Devon saw Tiffany, and Tiffany did, again, she didn't mention right away that she was Vanessa's sister, but Devon was just kind of like, yeah, it's cool though to see Cody's brother in the house, but I could see the little poker player over there. Hey, yeah. Vanessa's sister, like she was like got into the absolute sass mode because she was just like, I see you. So then Tiffany and Michelle are sitting on the couch after the competition, after the initial competition, and they are talking, and then all of a sudden Michelle's like, can you be honest with me? You look just like Vanessa Russo from last season. And Tiffany just is like, Russo who? And
Russo?
Yeah, right. So she's clearly just trying to like play it off, but she's doing a really bad job at it. So then obviously she's like, all right, I am Vanessa's sister, but you can't tell anyone for now. I want to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
And Michelle's like, I swear. And the good old Russo speculation begins, and
you're not Nicole's sister, are you?
Yeah. I know. And Michelle's just like, I pinky swear I am not related to Nicole. So that to me, it was just like, oh god, this is gonna be an exact replica, isn't it? It's gonna be exact. I still have faith though that Tiffany's not gonna be playing as hard of a game, but
no.
We'll see what happens. So then Julie Chen comes on the screen with fire and hell behind her, and no, I'm kidding. But they all gather again in the living room, and then she drops the final bomb of the evening, and she says, "Okay, so this is how the remaining of the premiere will work. We're gonna play a competition known as Hit the Road, and it'll be in 3 rounds. The first round will be between the 3 teams that lost in the first competition. Whoever
Team Frank, Team
Nicole,
Devon,
Team Devon. So then you have those 3 teams competing against each other, and whoever wins gets immunity for this first eviction, and the other 2 move on to round 2. And then those 2 teams will battle it out. Whoever wins that will get immunity for the upcoming eviction. And then the final team must split up into individuals and must compete against each other. And whoever ends up losing has to leave the house.
I love this idea of a competition.
Of a competition to kind of to get someone out. You mean?
Yeah, and the individual stages were all great ideas.
Yeah,
However,
the
execution of them, except for the last stage, was
Iffy, you mean?
Interesting to say the least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just a part of me that, like, Big Brother I consider much more of a social game than a physical game by any means, because I think if you want to compare like the reality shows to like Survivor, Survivor has a lot more of a physical element to it, where Big Brother I think is much more about the social aspect. And to see someone go because of a physical competition, it kind of sucks. But I think that it is a fair way to do it in the first week when you can't really do anything.
You can't really social.
You can't. Yeah, like it's tough to kind of have like those. You can't. You have to go on first impressions with nominations and stuff, and then you make enemies that you don't want to make. So, with the first elimination, I can easily see why it would be easy to get someone out of the gate using a physical competition rather than just having to nominate them and cause mistrust and everything like that. So it's interesting for sure, but I think it went out well though. I think it worked. We start out with the first competition. Remind me if I'm wrong. This is the stacking competition, right?
No. It's the stack. Yeah.
It's the one that
it is the stacking with the. There's another one that involves stacking.
Right, but
I was thinking that one, but it's the one where all right. So basically, there are three like ropes attached to this platform in the center of them, and three teammates have to all grab the ropes and hold the platform in the middle steady, while the fourth person runs, digs up a brick, brings it back, and places it on the platform. And then they have to switch places with someone else who's holding the rope, and then they go get a brick and bring it back. There are 15 total, and you stack it.
Right. So it was kind of it was kind of like a blowout first, and Team Nicole was right out of the gate was doing like amazing.
They were going fantastic, and then Nicole couldn't switch places with Glenn.
Right.
For like 10 minutes of the show.
Yeah, Team Devon and Team Frank were kind of having issues. They would get really far, and then all of a sudden it would go collapse. They kept on collapsing.
Really frustrated at each other too.
Yeah. Team Devon. They're like the dysfunctional group of the entire season thus far. Devon and Paul they're very loud personalities. They're definitely clashing. But all of a sudden, the orange team just collapses. Team Nicole, they just collapse, and they're obviously their stack collapses, and then they just have to start from the beginning. But then it's too late for them. Team Frank is already very far ahead, and they end up winning the competition. And so Team Frank is safe. So that leaves Team Devon and Team Nicole to figure out what to do next for the next competition. And again, not a lot of social stuff was happening. It was really the same stuff. It was all of it was just kind of going back to the newbies and saying, like, oh, we need to get the veterans out, and the veterans just be like, I don't know what the fuck to do. They're coming after us. So, so it's interesting, but we get to the second round, and we have that's the stacking one. If you want to explain,
this is another stacking one where you have to build a sandcastle puzzle.
Yeah. And it was the battle of Speckled, or what was it?
Speckled.
Creamed or Speckled. Hashtag Cream Specklegate. But I should do this like the shows on like Survivor and Big Brother where they have the hashtag on the the corner. Like just during the podcast, we just have hashtags that go across the screen. Yep. But yeah, then all of a sudden. Like they're just having so many issues trying to stack this puzzle. Yeah,
really poor.
Yeah, Team Devon, and and Team Nicole seemed like they had it under control, but Glenn kept on saying, "Well, I don't know because the bottom does not look like it's like attached to well. I don't know if that's the right pieces." But no one was paying attention to him. So
no, it's fine. You're fine. You're stupid.
yeah. So they all of a sudden they finish the puzzle. They all stand on the mat, and all of a sudden, it's wrong. So they have to go back, and they're like, "What's happened? Wait, what happened?" And Glenn's just like, "Guys, it's the bottom."
Fucking case.
But they don't figure it out. And then Team Devon, again, one of the most dysfunctional teams, somehow end up pulling through, and they ended up winning round 2.
Yep.
And they are safe for eviction, and now Nicole, Tiffany, Glenn, and Corey are going to have to battle it out. And there's a part of me that really feels bad for Glenn, because all of a sudden, he's just like, I was telling them what to do, and then they're just not listening. And they didn't really touch on that during the editing, but that's really what happened. It was just they were not listening to him because they knew that he knew that something was wrong with the bottom, but they were just like, nah. So that was frustrating for him, I'm sure. So that was the first episode in a nutshell. That was then we got to Thursday's episode, which had a lot more Big Brother, really feeling like it's Big Brother again.
Yeah.
So we start out almost right away with Paul being like, going to Corey and being like, you have to make sure that that you win this competition, you get Nicole out, and then you guys have to vouch for head of household. Even if she survives, you have to vouch for head of household so that way we can go after the veterans. And Corey's just kind of like, and Corey and the DR is just kind of like, I don't really feel like doing that.
Yeah.
Thanks. So then we get to the penultimate or the ultimate round, really. And it's these 4 islands. If you want to describe it, actually,
all right.
what was happening.
All right. So they have there are 4 islands, one for each, with a palm tree in the middle and words that say SOS with a bunch of spots to place coconuts. What they need to do is climb up the tree, grab a coconut, come down, and place it on the SOS. The problem is that they also have to keep the platform balanced so that the coconuts don't fall off.
Right.
They all had different strategies, and Nicole ended up being the first one to get it.
Right. Yeah.
Followed by Tiffany.
Yep. And then very close. Very close.
So Glenn had all of his coconuts down. Corey looked over, saw that Glenn had all his coconuts down, and was struggling to reach the flag. So Corey put his last coconut down and quickly went over to the flag. And it was a photo finish.
Yeah.
When I looked at it, and it should have just been because their bodies were in the way, I thought that Glenn was the first one to grab his flag.
Right. I thought so too. I think that's what people were. I think that's what Big Brother actually showed, that Glenn pulled out the flag. But what happened was that before he actually pulled the flag out, the coconuts were rolling off. He had like 4 coconuts. Like 4 coconuts that were off the SOS, and that's why I thought was going to end up being the major factor. Was not necessarily who pulled the flag first, but if the coconuts were off the SOS. And so Corey ends up winning or at least getting the last spot into the house, and poor old Glenn has to say goodbye. And I was sad for him. I really was, because I felt like he got screwed over by his team.
He was screwed over, and that really blows.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he was going to fit into the house dynamic at all.
Oh, right, yeah. The token older guy sometimes it's tough, but I think that it would have been interesting to see if he did cause kind of chaos, because he did have a loud mouth and stuff, but at the same time, I was glad that he got the opportunity to be in the house, and he said that he was grateful. So we're sorry, man. But you never know with this show. Sometimes they can be like, all right, yeah, you're out, and then all of a sudden they were like, all right, go into the sequester for a little bit. You might get another chance. So Big Brother does that all the time. So now comes the point when Nicole, Tiffany, and Corey must decide which one of them should be the head of household. And they're all talking with one another, and Nicole really, it's worth noting that even before this competition happened, Nicole was doing a really good job because she was trying really hard to not really say it, but she wanted the head of household.
Yeah.
And so before the competition, she went to Corey and was like, it was like, yeah, I don't know what we should do, like who we pick and stuff. And she made Corey basically say, oh, why not you be the head of household? Oh, me? Oh, okay. I don't know about that, but we'll see. And so it was perfectly played. And once again, they're in the huddle and talking about who should be head of household. And again, Nicole's like, I don't know if I want to do it. Like, I don't know. And
Tiffany brings up the idea that, oh, well, maybe we should just do it like who got off first. So that would be you, Nicole.
Yeah, and Nicole's just like, all right, I'll do it, but you have to promise me safety when the teams go. And they're like, promise. And it was just like, Nicole with the game. My
that was
God,
very fucking awesome by Nicole. That was such a good move.
I was just like, oh yes, I'm hope because I did really like Nicole the first season, but there was not a lot of gameplay out of her because maybe because of the distraction with Hayden. But I'm already this right out of the game, like, oh right, yeah, with the manipulation, I like it. Yeah. So Nicole got the first head of household, and of course, who you think it would be really pissed? But Paul. Paul is just like, this is moronic, this is stupid, how dare they pick her, this is all going to shit. And Paul definitely gives his feelings to Corey afterwards in the storage room. And Corey kind of is just like, but then all of a sudden throws Tiffany under the bus. Is like, oh, but Tiffany was like, yeah, Nicole should be head of household, and Corey's just like, oh, and Corey like acts as if like he was trying to prevent that, like, oh, well, I don't know about that. Tried to play it up for Paul, and Paul wasn't having any of it. Paul was just kind of like, you had one job,
yeah,
and you should have done it. So in that sense, I was kind of on Paul's side on that point because I was just kind of like, yes, I get what you're trying to say, and that Corey's just doing a really bad job at covering up what he was really trying to do. So that kind of blew up in Corey's face, but lucky for him, he's safe this week as well as Tiffany because they're on the same team as Nicole. That's also worth mentioning. So they didn't really do a head of household room reveal this time. They just kind of just happened. But I think it's probably better that way. I think people.
Oh yeah.
I think people don't really care for that segment. They're just like, all right, whatever. I think it's
unless
go ahead.
Unless you get a moment out of it, like James. Was it James calling Vanessa's mom hot or something like that?
Oh yeah, you've had many moments like that.
Yeah.
But yes, that's right. I think Vanessa was having like a really important game talk with someone, and James just comes in, just like, yeah, Vanessa, your mom is really hot.
Yeah.
Like he just comes in, she is smoking, Vanessa, and Vanessa's just like, oh, thank you, thanks, James, whatever.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But yeah, so then they're all in the head of household room, and they don't really know what to do. They're like, I mean, we have to target somebody, but then the dumbass known as Victor comes up to the balcony that is in front of the head of household room and spills the beans. Victor goes on and says how, oh, the rookies, they are all going after you guys. The lines have been drawn. And my best friend, Jose, he's the leader of the pack. Why to go after? Which I was kind of surprised to see him saying Jose instead of Paul, but maybe the way they're editing it, that Jose was really the main target in that sense, but whatever. Jose is now just thrown under the bus by Victor, and Nicole's like, what the fuck? Why did you tell me this?
Fucking the entire, you know what? No, we'll go on. Let's go on. What I'll say will make sense later.
Yeah. So Nicole's just like, all right, so we'll nominate Jose, but who do we put with him? And so she does have a conversation with Corey, saying that maybe she wants to do maybe like this is maybe the best shot to go after Jose. Maybe we have to put up a pawn. Maybe we have to do someone that could win the competition like Paulie. So that whole conversation happens. We'll see where it ends up. But an important conversation that happens before that is Devon and Jose are laying in the hammock, and all of a sudden Jose is like, "Yeah, we're going after all the veterans." Right in front of Devon, talking to Devon, and it's like, "Yeah, we're going after all the veterans. That we're safe."
You know, all these new people, they're looking up to me. I'm like their messiah.
Right? Yeah. Messiah comment. I can't. But then he's just like, here's the pecking order.
The expression on Devon's face, she was trying so hard
not to laugh.
Not to punch him or laugh.
Right, yeah. She was just like, what the fuck? But
so,
yeah, there's the pecking order. He was like, the pecking order is Nicole, and then it is James, and then Frank, and then we'll see what happens from there. And so Devon, once again, it's like, what the fuck?
Why would you tell us that?
Why would you tell us that? So Devon and Nicole have their meeting. Devon spills everything that Jose just said, and Nicole's like, all right, so I obviously have to nominate Jose, but should we talk to Paulie, maybe nominate Paulie as a pawn? And Devon's like, I don't know. So later on, the 4 veterans and Paulie are all hanging out in the head of household room, and Nicole's like, okay, Paulie, do you think it would be... do you think that you could go up as a pawn against Jose? And you know, us in the long time watchers of Big Brother, we know it's never a good idea to go up as a pawn. So when I see this, I'm like, no, don't do it, Paul. Don't do it, Paul. Don't do it. No, Paul, Paulie, don't do this. Don't do this. Paulie's just like, yeah, I could go up. No!
Yeah.
It's like, oh god, you just put the dagger at yourself. But Paulie is like, I don't know why you would do this. Why would you put me up if you care about me? But you know, I will take a risk and I'll go up there. He says that in the DR, but he really is making a dumb move out of the gate.
It is. It's a really dumb move.
I mean, it could work out, but you never know which way the direction the house will go. You don't know who's gonna be power veto, you know. So I don't know. It's good, and you don't know what the secret power is on Sunday. And they don't even know that the secret power exists. So it's tough. I think it's gonna be real tough. But anyways, so that happens. They kind of decide, all right, that's the best way to go. Nomination ceremony occurs, and as we all expect, it's Jose and Paulie. There was a hint that maybe Jose would go up with Sakia because Sakia is a close ally of his. But I mean, it just, I guess the pawn's the better way to go with that. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, because they were thinking that like, Zakia would probably just like go home and then they'd waste their time. Right,
exactly. So yeah, that was the first 2 days of Big Brother, and you liked it though. You felt it was good. Yeah.
As excruciating as it was sometimes, I liked it.
Oh, of course, it's always gonna be like that. There's always gonna be those dumbasses on this show. Because it adds to the fun and drama of it all. But yeah, I mean, for me, I love it thus far. I've been watching the feeds, and that's been fun too. So I will drop some hints here and there. I'm not gonna go too into detail. One thing that doesn't really affect the game, but I guess it just means that people are really having problems with him, is that Jose has made some controversial comments about the July 4th holiday, the Independence Day, saying that it shouldn't be a holiday, and that the military they did not have to give up their lives for their freedoms, and that we just took the land away from Native Americans. And I mean, there's a part of it that I could see where he's coming from, but there's also a part of me that's like, that's really fucked up to say.
It's really fucked up to say, and it's not entirely true, because July 4th isn't one of the 2 holidays we have to like celebrate the military.
Right, and plus
it's
the Native American argument should be completely separate from the July 4th holiday. Like it's two separate things.
and July 4th is just the day that like uh, it was the day that we were like, hey, we don't want to be with the British anymore. Not the day we actually won the war, because the war still happened for.
Well, yeah, it was the Declaration of Independence. So that's when it was born, eradicated. So yeah, it's just, you don't make comments like that, especially like even if you have some people on the outside that would agree with you on that. Like it's tough to say in a diverse environment like that, especially people that may be patriotic, like people like James and Frank, who are Southern guys, you know, who very much care about the country. Say that in front of them, it's not a good thing. So. I think that he kind of dug his own grave in that sense. I did find out what the secret power was, and again, I won't say anything. But if you just watch the show so you don't know what the secret power is yet, don't be afraid. It's not as bad as Battle of the Block, and I think it actually could be fun. So, it's great. And what else did I find out? And alliances galore already. I won't say anything more than that, but there's already lots of alliances, and I like it a lot. I really like it. It will be interesting to see. And if any, I will reveal more next week once the week is over, because then I can really start dropping like, oh yeah, well this happened and this happened, because they just couldn't find time to implement it into their shows. But
yeah,
it'll be interesting details to give you guys, so that way you know what is happening in the house, so that way you're not just focused on the edited version of the show. So yeah, that's what I have to say right now for the live feeds. Power of Veto is going to be played today, and then we'll see it on Wednesday. So very interesting. So let's go into predictions. What do we want to start with? Do we want to start with the winners, or do we want to go into just the week in general? I want to start with the winners, I think.
The winners of the Power. Oh yeah, our winners. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Gocubs talked about it, and we're pretty sure we want to change over to. We both want to change, because I it's not that I don't have confidence in Bronte, but I know you don't. But I think that I'm much more comfortable picking someone, especially the person I'm going to pick. And you, I know you're not happy with Paul, so I think switching over to who you're going to end up picking probably would be best. So we're going to have two veterans as our winners right now, so that'll be interesting. So you could go ahead, you could start.
Alright, so for the second summer in a row, I'm choosing James as my winner.
Yeah, by the way, I don't have images of the returnees yet. I will for next podcast. But yes, James.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's a veteran, and he has he definitely has a target on his back because of that. But I think with the position he has with the other veterans, as well as people like Paulie and Corey, who seem willing to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that he has a better chance than Paul does running his mouth every 3 seconds.
Right, a good position with them. Yeah. And Frank is my pick for the winner, and he's someone that I could see kind of emulating Dan's game a little bit, but also just being able to socialize with everyone. I think that right now the other three veterans might have more of a target on their back than Frank. I mean, if you look at the pecking order that Jose gave Devon, Nicole, James, and then Frank. So right now it seems that Frank is like for some reason, I don't know why they would even think this, but Frank is the least threatening of the veterans, which I would think he's the most, but hey, whatever. He seems like he's not being targeted a lot, so that's just who I want to pick. And plus I want to see Frank kind of redeem himself. I didn't really love him by the first season, but I want to like him this time around. He seems pretty cool, so I want to root for him right now.
All right.
So that's where I'm at. All right, let's get into this week's predictions. So we're gonna start out with the Power of Veto. Then we're gonna do who we think is gonna be evicted. Then we're gonna say who's gonna win a head of household. Once we know what the power is, we'll implement that into predictions. But right now, it's kind of hard to do that because we don't know what it entails.
Yeah.
So,
one thing I do want to note that if the power veto is going to have two parts to it.
right.
It's going to be who wins it, and then so like you get a point if you predict who wins it, and then you get a point for who they replace or say they don't use it.
Right. Do we also? Because I actually thinking about it now. Do we want to implement nomination predictions too for this upcoming week as well?
Oh shit!
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Fuck! I need to. Damn it!
It's making it another part of it.
Yeah, I gotta fix the Google thing.
I mean, I don't know. We don't have to. I mean,
We should.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Especially considering, like, yeah, that would be like our first predictions every week, anyway.
Yeah.
So, I have an idea because I with who I picked as a potential head of household, I know where they'll be going. So,
All right, hold on. So we're doing. All right, so we're doing. Are we gonna record every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday? Like those are gonna be our recording days.
yeah, it'd be out all the weekdays, and my goal is usually to put this out noon on Sundays. So,
Yeah.
by like the latest, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to format this.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna just scroll up to
Because
my
if we're saying
nominations.
our head of household prediction in this segment,
Yeah.
then yeah. All
Yeah.
let's-
Because I just think it's it's so hard to predict, but if we're right, it's like, all right, we we got it.
yeah.
So.
It just feels weird. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Fucking whatever.
we'll see. We'll see. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start with all my predictions here. So we let's say whatever the power is doesn't really change anything, right? Jose is gonna win power veto, and Paul is gonna get put up on the block, but then the veterans might realize that they might not have the numbers, and Paulie all of a sudden goes home. So the pawn will get affected by this. And by the way, these are all predictions I made before finding out anything on the live
Yes.
feeds.
Can confirm.
I gave Gocubs my word, and I gave him the predictions. Then Paul wins head of household, and he will nominate Nicole and James because he wants to target the veterans. So I'm basically predicting against the veterans right now, hoping that the veterans prevail because I'm rooting for that team right now.
Yeah.
But all right. So what about you? What are you thinking?
All right. And you just said through the evictions, right?
Yeah. This is power veto all the way through the next week's nominations.
All right. So, I think that.
Actually, you know what? We don't have to do nominations because we'll next Thursday before Sunday's episode we'll predict the nominations.
Next Thursday.
Yeah, like after next Thursday's episode is when around there, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday before Sunday's episode, we're gonna the nominations wouldn't be revealed then either. So
Yeah.
we don't have to predict the nominations. So sorry about that. I didn't even think about that. So
Screwing things up.
So I'm sorry, but we will predict nominations at some point, but just not this week.
Okay.
So go ahead and say who all from POV all the way through HOH.
All right. Who did you say was going to win the next HOH?
I said Paul.
Paul. All right. I didn't hear that part. I was too busy
Screaming inside.
frantically redesigning the entire Google Doc. Fuck you. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Whatever. I don't care. I'll fix it later.
Yeah,
All right.
that's all right.
So power veto. I said Paulie would win.
Okay.
Take himself off, and they'd put Paul up as a replacement because Jose and Paul are kind of working together and both of them like running their mouths. And I think that like maybe Corey would be like, hey, Paul's kind of a loose cannon too, but Jose would still go home as a result of his like controversial comments.
Right. So, yeah.
And as for HOH,
so Jose would be evicted using me.
Jose would be evicted.
Okay, yeah. All right. Did you say last night what your HOH would be?
No.
Okay.
I don't think you did either.
No, I said Paul would win HOH in my text.
Oh, okay. Let me check to see if I did send anything.
No, you didn't. I'm checking. I saw it. So, yeah, you gotta think long and hard about this. Who would be the next head of household?
Yep, there it is. Okay, whatever. Fuck it, Bronte.
Right? Yes. Yes. Oh my god, I'll be so happy if that happens. Alright, there's Bronte's face for you. Alright, so...
I don't hate Bronte. That's the thing.
No, I know, but she's...
I just don't think that she has what it takes to win this.
Oh, of course. To be real, I agree with you. I just like being an idiot when I predict things. I want to see if I'm right. You know, I like being a loose cannon with that stuff as well. So, so yes, I definitely think that it would be interesting if Bronte won. I don't know. I'm assuming. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. You know, I'll just keep it to myself because I won't reveal anything. So Bronte will win head of household for your predictions. Paul will win for my predictions, and we'll see what the secret power is this Sunday. And again, don't freak yourself out too much, or not you specifically, Gocubs, but just anyone that doesn't know. Just it's okay. It'll be okay. I think it'll be interesting. All so, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is going to be a fun summer. I'm looking forward to it. I think there's a lot of very interesting characters, so we'll see what kind of chaos will ensue. And meanwhile, I'm going to go work a shift at Big Brother Access for predictions. Or for, not predictions, but the live feeds, rather.
It doesn't start until later, though, does it?
It starts at 3 for me. So, yeah. Alright, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Inside.
Bye.